Good morning, and welcome to another segment of My Tea for the Week. It's your girl, Valerie Locust, and today we're going to be talking about free to be me. So, girl, go ahead on and get that tea and meet me at the table. Oh, yeah, we got something to talk about today. So, do y'all really believe we was born to be free? I mean, free to just be who we were meant to be from the very foundations of the world. When I say free, I mean free to live, free to love, free to give, free to learn, just free to be whoever we wanted to be. But what happens when that freedom has been infringed upon? Like, for instance, with this pandemic. Now, before this pandemic, we were all over the place. We was visiting, we were going out to restaurants. I mean, we were just having a good time with our lives. But now look at us. We going to the grocery stores at the crack of dawn. We wearing gloves and masks, self-distancing, self-quarantine, washing our hands 3, 4 times longer than we normally would. Oh yeah, this is a terrible time. But you know, even as bad as that pandemic is, there's something that's just as bad. And it's called identity crisis. Oh, honey, we all got them. We deal with them from time to time, and we'll continue to deal with them from time to time. But we're going to figure out how to handle them and move on. So you might ask, Valerie, what in the world is a identity crisis? I'm so glad you asked me that. An identity crisis in its simplest form is when there is something that comes in our lives that we're not expecting, and it causes so much confusion until it will actually cause us to second guess self-esteem, who we are, how we got there. It'll just make you question everything, and you will seem to have no answer for anything. So we end up being stuck. Oh yeah, identity crisis is a bad boy. A true story. When I was in my late teens, early 20s, you know how we did it back then. We matched from our head to our toe, kept our hair together, had a little Coca-Cola shaped body and all of that. But then I got married, started having children, started having bills, started having this thing called life. And it seemed like overnight, that little Coca-Cola shape turned into a 2 liter real fast. Now, because that thing came unexpectedly, and because I had never dealt with that, it caused me to second guess everything about me. Was I good enough to be a mother? Was I good enough to be a wife? How did I let this happen to me? And the list goes on and on and on. That is an identity crisis. A crisis because it brought so much confusion into my world, and I had no answers. I needed answers for everything and had no answers for anything. But we want to change that today, because identity crisis will prevent us from being that person we want to get to today, which is that person who is free. So let's talk about some of these things that identity crisis robs us of. Number one, if we don't deal with these identity crises, they will keep us in a state of feeling like we're a victim, that we're stuck, that we can't get up from whatever the situation or the circumstance might be. Number two, it'll keep us from living. It'll keep us from dreaming. It'll keep us from fulfilling purpose in our lives. Number three, it can and will alter who we really are. Why? Because we're too busy trying to make up a person that don't exist. When I was going through that identity crisis, it wasn't that I was a different person. Yes, I may have picked up some few pounds here and there or whatever, but I was still the same person. But because of the confusion and because of myself allowing me to think that this was the end of the world because I'm now a 2 liter instead of a Coca-Cola bottle, I hindered my own progress. And then number 4, the worst thing in the world is to become envious, bitter, angry. Why? Because we see somebody else doing the things that they were meant to do, and we're somewhere over here stuck. So what can we do to fix this? I'll tell you exactly what we can do. Number 1, we can all come to an understanding that life is going to bring about a lot of changes that we cannot control. And instead of us laying down and playing dead or acting like they're just going to somehow mysteriously disappear, we're going to learn how to get up, look them square in the face, and figure out what we need to do to get us out of it and keep us moving forward. Number 2, keep a grateful heart, honey, because I'm telling you, things can always be a lot worse than what they are. I know we all run into stuff and things happen and so on and so forth, but we can always look at somebody else's situation and it could be a whole lot worse than our own. So be grateful. Just keep a spirit of gratitude. Number 3, go back and revisit your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. Take them back. Take control back of your life. It's yours just for the asking. And number 4, know that you are unique in your own right. That's right. I don't care whether you are a Coca-Cola bottle or 2 liter. You are still unique within your own self. There's nobody else on this planet Earth that is quite like you. So ladies, as we come to the close of another segment, let's review a few things. Number 1, when God created you, honey, he threw away the mold. That's right. That's just how important and unique you really are. Honey, your whole life is like a blank canvas. You got the brush in your hand, girl. Get the painting. Paint your own story. You can do it, honey. I know you can. I got faith in you. Number 2, don't focus so much on the outside that you forget what's really going on the inside, the real you. Look, the real you is ready to soar. She's ready to go and try some things that's been pinned up, bottled up for a long, long time. And you better go and jump on her wagon, girl, because when she really finds out who she is, you just might get left. And number 3, just remember that you are only free to be you. That's right. Don't try being nobody else. Don't try wearing nobody else's shoes. Girl, they might hurt your feet. Remember, your shoes will always be a perfect fit for you. So ladies, again, thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm your girl, Valerie Locust. And as we always say, cheers to the new and improved you.